Good morning, everyone. Today I've got Hannah Jago with me. How are you doing, Hannah?
I'm really well, thanks, Michelle. And you?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. And Hannah's going to talk to us today about an organization that she represents called Utility Warehouse, or shortened to UW. And we came up with a sort of a overview explanation of what it stands for, didn't we, Hannah?
We did.
And we decided that Utility Warehouse was best described as a one-stop shop for all your essential services and shopping, which sounds amazing. We really should be on some corporate marketing team, I think. Um,
We
so,
like to keep it simple.
so Hannah, would you like to explain to everybody about Utility Warehouse and what are these essential services? What is this one-stop
Absolutely.
shop? Yeah.
Well, if I give you a little bit of background too, because I have been a customer of UW now for it's just over 12 years. I was introduced as a customer back when I was a newly single mum back in 2010 stroke 2011. And I suddenly was faced with having to pay all the bills myself. I'm sure a lot of your listeners will identify with that and feel that sort of sense of panic when you've got to pay everything yourself. And going through divorce, I didn't want to ask my husband for money. I mean, he was paying maintenance and stuff, but I didn't want to be in the position where I asked him for money because I hadn't done that while we were married and I wasn't about to do it now we were getting divorced. But what I was finding was that every month my income was getting squeezed a bit because I, at the time, was a private music teacher. I was teaching piano and singing lessons at home. And of course, the children go off on holiday every 6 weeks, and then there's Christmas and Easter and the summer holidays. And in that time, I wasn't getting paid. So every couple of months, my income would get squeezed further and further. And when I met my husband, Chris, around that time, he introduced me to UW as a customer. And he was taking me out for dinner and he had this little piece of plastic and he was paying for dinner with it. And I was like, I knew about Utility Warehouse, but I was like, what's this? And he said, well, it's a card and I put all my shopping money on it. And when I go shopping or spend money or go out for dinner or buy a coffee or put fuel in the car or buy clothes, I earn cash back and that comes off my bills, making them cheaper. And I'm like, you need to show me how that works because in my head, I'm like, I'm doing shopping all the time but I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not earning anything. I'm just spending money, which I do on this card, my bank card. I'm just spending money. And if any of your listeners are wondering what the squeaking is, I have a little puppy here. So if she's running around having zoomies squeaking, I do apologize. So I said to him, you need to show me how that works. So he popped over the next day and he told me all about UW, how it works. He told me about the history of the company, and he showed me how simple it was. And in my head, I'm like, I can do simple. I don't do difficult. I
Yeah.
like things nice and easy. I mean, why do things that are hard? What's the point?
So how long has Utility Warehouse actually been in operation, Hannah?
That's a great question. It's been going since 1996. It actually, I live in Oxfordshire, and it started in the back of a pub in Henley with a couple of guys who had a vision to bring savings to the public because around that time, the market was being demonopolized. So, BT was very much the company at that time.
Hmm.
British Gas was the energy company, and things were being deregulated. So it opened up the market for more people to come in and provide different services and different discounts. And what Utility Warehouse had was a vision that continues today and is continuing. They've got a forecast for the next 30 years. But they have this vision to add other services to what they were doing. In terms of the essential services, we're looking at phone and broadband, the basics that everybody wants. They want fast broadband, especially over the last few years. People were stuck at home and they needed good internet when they were homeschooling and zooming all over the world with their friends. They supply energy, so gas and electric. They supply mobiles, which again, everybody's got a mobile these days, and they supply things like boiler cover and home insurance. So the essential core services that a household will have. And the thing that's different about UW is the fact that they don't advertise. So if you think about the companies, you know, if your listeners think about the companies they're currently with, every time they turn on the television, there's an advert for British Gas or BT or Vodafone or Virgin or Sky or whoever. We don't do that. So because our route to market is through a network structure, you know, we're all about networking and, you know, supplying amazing services and products to people. And that's how we work as well. So everything is done by word of mouth. And of course, it means you're cutting out that advertising budget. So companies like, you know, well, the big six, let's just call them that, they're spending about 40% of a customer's profit from the customer paying their bill. They're spending that on advertising, football, billboarding, adverts on the telly, paper marketing. I mean, every time I get something through the post, it gets whipped up and put straight in the bin. That is a waste of money and it's a waste of resources. And that's not good for the planet. And that's what we don't do. We're relying solely on our customers to recommend us and partners like myself to share the good word with our friends. Excuse me.
Interesting, Hannah, because since I've known you, and I think we kind of come across each other just before the freaky flu, and then and then we've sort of got to know each other more since then.
Yes.
And basically, whenever we have a chat and network about different things, you always say to me about Utility Warehouse and how it's helped you in particular.
Yes.
Because you know, you did have a bereavement this year with your last year now, when you lost your husband suddenly. And I know that when I've been talking with you about, you know, how you're getting on, one of the things you've always mentioned to me is how the Utility Warehouse income has been helping you.
Yes.
And, you know, that if you didn't have that, you know, it could be a much worse situation.
Yeah.
And so just through you giving a testimonial, that's how, like you're saying, this is how we pass the word around, but the company saves money.
Yes.
So how would somebody, you know, how do we, what exactly does it
Process.
do? How do we go through it? How do we, if somebody's very interested in this, are we talking about things like saving money on, say, our electric and our gas and our food and all those things that we have to do each day? Is that is this really what it boils down to?
What it boils down to, absolutely. And it's a really simple process because all we do is we have a Zoom call with people, which takes no more than about half an hour. And we show them how it works, because obviously a lot of people have questions because they've never heard of us, because they've never seen us. So a lot of people can be quite skeptical. And because I've been a customer 12 years, I can share my story honestly of how it's been for me. You know, I've moved 7 times. I'm about to move again. That is a bit of a wrench for people when they're moving, is, oh, I've got to phone all these companies again, and I've got to find the password, and I've got to find the phone number, and it's time. People don't have that amount of time to spend faffing about, ringing up and doing all of these things. And the fact that we have one central head office in London makes a massive difference to our customers. And, you know, the customer service side of things is really good for that reason, because we're based in London. We're not outsourced abroad. You've also got one point of contact when you are dealing with a partner like myself. You know, I've been in the business 10 years. In fact, it was 10 years on Saturday that I've been a business partner. So it was just my anniversary. But you're getting somebody who can help deal with these things for you. So you're looking at switching your energy. And that, again, is a bit of a trial for people, because they think they've got to do all the work, and Utility Warehouse do all of the transferring for customers, whether it's the energy, the phone and the broadband. We help them switch over their mobile and keep their phone number. So we're doing all of that work for the customer. And I think, again, that's what sets us apart. And then, of course, you add in the cashback card. So that's what this is called. And how this works is a piece of genius, really, because every time I put my shopping money on this and go and spend money, which I'm doing every day. I mean, I have to buy her dog food, and I've got to go and buy clothes and put fuel in the car and eat out. You know, just went out for Mother's Day and used my card. Every time I'm spending money, it's earning me a little slither of cash back. 1% everywhere, but then there are about 50 high street retailers that give us more cash back. So for example, Sainsbury's is 3%, M&S, Argos, Primark, Boots, loads of others give us 5%. So every time I'm spending money, I'm being given a bit of that back. And that cash back comes off my utility bill at the end of the following month, making it cheaper. So in 12 years as a customer, I've never paid full price for my bills. They've always been cheaper every single month.
Anna, this all sounds too good to be true. Is there some sort of like signing up fee, or are you an MLM? Or I mean, if I want to join today, do I have to pay you a fee, or
well, how does that work?
Do I have to start recruiting a whole team of people?
So as a customer, it's completely free to join. As I say, we do a little application online. It's a Zoom call. It takes, as I say, no more than about half an hour. And once that sign-up process is done, we do all the transferring. You then get the next month, you're going to get your first bill with all of your essential services on it, which means one direct debit, one bill, nice and simple. Now, as a customer, if you then said, well, I've got a friend and she's struggling a bit and she could do with saving some money, can you have a chat with her? Me as the business partner, I'm going to have a chat with your friend. Let's call her Donna. And I speak to Donna. And if Donna signs up as a customer, taking 2 or more of the essential services, you get a £50 thank you off your utility bill. So as a customer, you can refer us and receive a thank you bonus off your own bill, because we know that some people don't want to join the business. They don't want that headache of having to do a business. They're too busy, they've got 4 kids, they're working, or maybe they think they've got ill health and they just don't have the mental headspace for it. But it's a very easy system. And when I looked at this as a business, that's what I liked, is the simplicity of it. One form, the customer fills it in, and I don't even do that bit. The customer does it their end. As I said at the beginning, I don't do things that are difficult. I don't see the point. What I liked about UW is I didn't have to buy any stock. You know, you talk about MLM, multi-level marketing, for any of your listeners that don't know what that is, or NWN, network marketing. And it's a very old business model that works when you work it. And that's the thing. Sometimes people come into network marketing, they try to sell some face cream or some toothpaste or some, you know, protein shakes or something. And then they say, oh, it doesn't work. Nobody bought it. But the thing that you have to do in network marketing is keep sharing good things with people. In my head, I have nothing to sell. I mean, I physically don't have a product to sell. But what I have is a concept and a way to help people solve their problems. That's what I am, is a solution provider. That's how I think of myself. People have problems and I have a solution. And if they decide to join me as a customer, they're taking that solution and saying, yes, I want to have more fun money at the end of next month.
On the other side of that, if you do have what you think is an ill health situation and you are perhaps at home with the children and you do want a little bit of extra income, you could, I suppose, do what you're doing, Hannah, and actually work this business as a sideline to your home-based
home life. Yeah. And that's why I do this business, because I actually have a bowel issue that means I can't go and work for somebody else full time. And, you know, I was run over 20 years ago while I was at work in a very big supermarket. And I broke my foot severely and had to have major surgery to put me back together. And I realized at that point, I did not want to work for anybody else because they didn't treat me very well. I was just a number. And when I handed in my notice, they didn't care. They didn't care that I was off to work for another supermarket. But it made me realize that when you work for somebody else, you are just a number. If you are gone one day, so what? You're replaceable.
I have noticed with Utility Warehouse, since I've known you, that they actually do look after you, and they send you, you've received gifts from them, haven't you, before?
I have.
Send you lovely gifts.
Yeah, for doing the job that we do have some nice rewards. I mean, in terms of the business side of it, because I've been running this business for 10 years and I've consistently every single month, I mean, I have a little book and I chart all my customers that I've signed up and the business partners that have joined my team. And every single month for 10 years, I've helped at least 3 or 4 people, sometimes more, sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 18 or 13 or whatever it is. And that's all through referrals and word of mouth. But every single month I've helped customers. And ironically, Michelle, today is residual income day. So this morning I woke up and there was a lump sum of money that went in my bank for work that I've done in the last 10 years. Wow. Because every month our customers pay their bills, we earn a little bit of residual income. So for your listeners, if you think about the income that you earn in your job, you go to work, you get paid a certain amount and you do your hour. Now, next month, your boss doesn't say to you, Donna, you were so amazing last month. I'm going to pay you for the hours again that you did last month. Doesn't happen. But in this industry, we get paid again and again. And the difference with UW is that companies, let's say I'm going to give a Body Shop or Tropic as an example, okay? They have to sell a product and they earn commission only on that product. But when somebody puts face cream on their face, they don't get paid for that. Whereas we get paid when people turn on the lights, use their mobile, turn on the gas and electric, use their cashback.
It's a repeating situation,
It's a residual income. And of course, we as consumers, we have residual bills. We have to pay them every single month. Our rent, we pay, the electric bills, they are residual bills. But most people don't have residual income. And, you talked a little bit a while ago about, how this income has helped me. So, February the 9th, when Chris passed away, I didn't need to go home and pick up the phone and call a boss and say, my husband's just died, I can't come to work. I didn't need to do that. And honestly, Michelle, I can't imagine how that conversation would have gone right now. I can't picture it in my head, because I've designed my life so that I don't need to be beholden to somebody else. And this might alarm some of your listeners.
A personal freedom to work the hours you want
to time freedom. Yeah.
Yes. And then if you, like you said, you have a bad day with your health issues, you can work all around that. And you still know that in the background, instead of stressing about that, you've got your residual income.
Yes.
And you know that when you're feeling better, you can just get back on.
Right. You can put it down as and when life is going on around you. Yes. And as a spouse, if you have a spouse and that spouse dies and you're working full time, you get 2 weeks compassionate leave. Well, after 2 weeks, the funeral wasn't even happening at that point. I was still dealing with death certificates. And I mean, I cannot imagine going back to work, having to put a smile on my face and deal with the public, because my background is retail management, and have all of that going on in the background at home. I just cannot imagine it. And this is the thing about having an additional income as a side hustle, a side gig, as they like to call it these days, is that you, as an individual, you never know when life's going to happen to you. And as I just mentioned, I've been run over and told I'd never walk again. That's going to happen to some people. You have a car accident. Don't ask the universe for these things, but these things are going to happen. We're going to have injury, accidents, death, divorce, serious illness. We're also,
all actually, Hannah, we've just got what's going on with the economy right now.
Right.
Everything's very expensive, the water, the electric, the telephone, the food. So anywhere we can make a little bit of savings, irrespective of life's ups and downs.
Yes.
Everybody right now is struggling with just the basics, the necessities.
Yeah.
So if someone's listening right now and they're very interested in changing their utilities across, well, how would they connect with you in order to do that?
The easiest way is for people to find me on Facebook. I come under the name Hannah of the Family Jago. It's quite easy to find me. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
What we'll do, I'll tell you what we'll do, Hannah. We'll put all of that together, all that information, and then it will be posted under this video. And you'll be able to post this video, Hannah, on your Facebook and all your places. And I can put it onto my YouTube And everybody can go. What you do is you just press the down button, which is underneath this video, and it'll drop down a menu. And in the menu, it will tell you every way you can find Hannah, how to join, you know, how to fill out the forms, everything.
Yeah.
Now the other thing I need to ask you, Hannah, because you're based in, you know, we're based in the UK.
Yes.
So is this available only in the UK at the moment, or Ireland, Scotland? Is it in all parts of England and Wales?
All parts of the UK.
Yeah.
In Northern Ireland, we only supply the telephony parts, the phone and the broadband, because most of Ireland is on oil still. They're still living a little bit in the old century. We do have oil in this country, obviously, but they don't have that system. So we don't supply the energy in Northern Ireland at the moment. But it is available. I have customers. I'm in Oxfordshire, but I have customers in Scotland, in Cornwall, in London, in Wales, all over the country. So we're not governed by demographic. So if somebody's listening thinking, oh, well, I've seen somebody doing UW where I live, it doesn't matter. It's not about where you live. It's really about who you know. And if you think about the people you know, you've worked with people, you work with people now. You live in a street that's got hundreds of people in it. We all know lots of people, and you only have to drop the words, oh God, isn't the cost of living going up? And somebody moans about it. And we have that opportunity to say, do you know what? I think I've got a solution for that. Can I share it with you? And people are very open to having a conversation. And I think because UW is a PLC FTSE 250 business, it gives us massive credibility. The company itself has won over 70 different awards, including Which Awards. And you can't pay for those awards. You're only given them if you're really good or really bad.
Yeah.
And consistently for the last 10 to 15 years, we've won Which Award after Which Award. And just this week, we won the Best Company of the Year from the PLC Awards. So that was just this week. We won another award. And that, I think, is what gives us credibility, especially when somebody's not heard of us and they're feeling a little bit skeptical, because I can't tell anybody anything.
They can look you up. They can go and look these things up.
And the accounts are all online. Everything's there for people to see. There's nothing hidden. But the thing that impressed me, because when I was looking at this as a business, I'd already been a customer for 2 years. But when I was looking at the business, I liked things like the green credentials, the fact that we go and plant trees in the Brecon Beacons for our customers when they sign up. The Woodland Trust UK chose Utility Warehouse out of 7 companies in the UK that they wanted to fulfill their tree planting criteria with. The fact that the police are allowed to do UW as a second income. This is the only business in the whole of the UK that's been vetted by the police commissioner as legal for them to do as an additional income. And those are the things that I looked at when I was looking at the business. What's the reputation here? What's the credibility for me as a partner? Because my values are high in that sense, in terms of integrity, honesty, authenticity about what we do. Because it's very important to me, so that's why I partner with UW. And it's why when I look at adding other products, for example, I help people with these little fuel tabs, little tiny tablet that goes in your engine for your petrol or diesel that makes your mileage go further. When I was looking at that company, what's the credibility? What's the approval? What are the ratings behind it? Where's the kudos here? Because if I'm going to recommend something, it's got to be legal and above board.
That's incredible. So let's just step back a minute. So the fuel tabs are a separate thing to Utility Warehouse. They're another product that you work with.
Yes.
And what you're saying is that if you put one of those little tablets in your fuel tank,
this tiny little tablet,
filling up, the fuel goes further.
Yeah, what happens is that tablet is a fuel additive, and that goes in the tank before you fill up, so suitable for diesel or petrol and hybrid vehicles. What that does is it dissolves and it thins out the fuel, so it makes that fuel combust properly. Fuel has got a lot of muck in it. If you're a mechanic out there, you'll know when you have to drain an engine, there's lots of silt and dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Flirt, right.
Yeah.
And so it's cleaning the engine whilst it's combusting. And in that process, it's thinning out the fuel. So it's making that fuel go further. So you're getting extra mileage. So again, you're saving money because you're not filling up as often.
Wow.
And that's why I added this product, because I'm always talking to people about the fact that they can earn cash back when they buy their fuel. But actually, you can make your fuel go further with the fuel tabs as well, and you get 5 in a packet. You know, they
how much do those cost, those fuel tab packets?
Yeah, so they're £30 for a pack of 5, so they work out at £6 each. You know, if you're buying a single pack, we usually try and encourage people to buy 3 or 5 or 8 on the website, because then you're saving money, because they have to come all the way from America. So if you buy 1 pack, they are going to turn up in a jiffy bag with 1 pack. And in my head, that's not fuel efficient. That's kind of undoing the fact that you're trying to save money by sending 1 pack on an airplane. It doesn't make sense. So I tend to buy 8 packs at a time, and then I've got enough that I can either sell them, or people, you know, if they want to buy 8, they can. And then, of course, they land up being something like £2.50 a tab. So you're saving even more money by buying them in bulk, you know.
The more you buy, the cheaper the tablet becomes.
Yes.
And where's the like research around proving that it actually saves you money?
Yeah, so these have all been EPA approved. Don't ask me what EPA means, but it's something like energy or efficiency something rating. You know, it's a title, you know, in terms of fuel and car ratings. That's been through all the stringent testing. And again, on the website, you know, there's lots of details about the studies that they've done. But what I always say to customers is, your car is the age it is. How you drive it is how you drive it. You know, I've got driving instructors using these tablets, realizing that they're getting you know, 50 plus extra miles a tank. We've got mums and dads on the school run every day, backwards and forwards, taking little Johnny to his football club and little Susie to her singing lessons. You know, you're whizzing around town doing all of the things you're doing, but you're saving money in the process. So you know, they're suitable for vans, cars, trucks, motorbikes, boats, lawnmowers even. I mean, a lawnmower takes petrol. If you're a gardener and you use a petrol mower, you're going to get more mileage out of your lawnmower. So that's going to save you money.
Does it work with a diesel car?
Yeah.
It works with diesel and petrol.
And petrol. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds amazing. So that product will also be listed below. We'll put it below, the link for that. And then that will take you straight, I assume, to your site.
It takes you onto the website. Yeah. And you scroll down and you find the tabs. And as I say, it's just easier for people to buy 3, 5 or 8. Because if you're buying 8, you're getting the best saving. And of course, you can sell some of those to your friends. If you know some driving instructor, give a pack to them and say, look, try these out. Give a pack to a mechanic friend, say, right, try these out. You know, I actually have a friend who's got one of those car ramps, and they put the car up on the ramp and ran it and put all, you know, did one tank, put the tablet in. And I think they worked out they had over 100 miles on the very first tank, just running it on a ramp. Now, okay, that's consistent, you know, driving, whereas you wouldn't be consistently driving like that. However, I drove to Edinburgh last year, and I live in Oxford, and it's exactly 365 miles from my house to Edinburgh. And I filled my car up, and I had exactly 365 miles in the tank, ironically. Now, when I got to Edinburgh, I worked out the mileage I'd driven and what I had left in my tank meant I actually had 65 miles extra before I needed to fill up. So I then filled up and I did my drive home, and I actually had 85 miles in my tank more when I got home. So, you know, if you are doing those long drives, you're getting, you know, better increased mileage. And you could say, well, you would if you were driving consistently anyway. But there's still stops at the service station. You know, there's still small driving around the towns. So all of those things are factors. But yeah, any month I'm getting anywhere. I mean, I just drove yesterday and I worked out I've got about 38 extra miles at the moment in my tank. And by the time I finish my tank, I'll probably have about 50 extra miles.
But,
longer term, you're not filling up as often.
Yeah, plus longer term, it sounds like, and I'm no car mechanic, but it sounds like if you're cleaning the fuel then
Yes.
you're keeping the engine cleaner. So hopefully
Yes.
you won't have so many mechanical
Yes.
problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
Keeping everything, like you said, more sludge free.
Yes. And okay, we're not trying to put the mechanics out of work here.
So,
But, if you're having less problems like that, that's saving you money. Again, you're making the life of your car go longer. So
yeah.
all these things, UW, the fuel tabs, these for me are things that really help people right now. You
Yeah.
know, it's
And right
all
now, everything
right
what
now.
you were
Yeah.
saying is people are finding it really difficult to make it to the end of the month with all the
Yeah.
costs of everything. And
Yeah.
so I think all of these things you've talked about today are really going to be interesting for people to hear. And they should definitely get in touch with you and sign up and start getting their, cash back for
Well,
sure.
I'm recommending to their friends. I mean, if your bill is, let's say, £250 for all of your services, and you recommend 4 or 5 people to us, that's your bill wiped out because you're getting £50 as a
Yeah.
credit.
Yeah.
So customers don't have to pay for their bills. I mean, it's your choice. You can either pay full price or not. But,
Yeah.
for me, Michelle, this business has not only given me extra money every month and put the what if protection. What if something happens to me in the future? Well, it happened last year. It's given me that time freedom and that financial protection. But not only that, it's brought me incredible friends and connections, yourself included. We met because somebody was a customer and they introduced me to you. And it wasn't right for you at the time. And now you're in Portugal and you're in a different part of the world. But, it brings us those contacts, and that's the beauty of networking. And if I'm really honest, when Chris died, it's my network that stood by me the most.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
had people turn up at my house. I had people send me food, flowers, gifts. The company itself sent me a huge bouquet of flowers. Chris was the one who introduced me to this business. So
Yeah.
I've gained lovely friendships along the way. But what it's allowed me to do in the last 10 years is become the person I want to be. And I'm a creative artist and a musician. And having this business running in the background, it's not my full-time job. It's something I do in my spare time, but it pays me a full-time wage for doing part-time hours. And the rest of the time, I'm usually sat over there on my sofa crocheting or knitting or painting or being creative. And that's the thing in this world that lights us up as human beings the most, is when we're being creative. If you're making a cake for your child, you feel so excited. If you're planting bulbs in the garden, you know that they're going to spring up and make your garden look beautiful. If you're creating music, that's when your body and your frequency is raised, when you're being creative. And it's one of the things I love helping people the most with, is helping them find their creativity. And of course, a lot of people say, oh, I can't sing, I can't paint, I can't draw. And that honestly is usually because there's a teacher in their head or a parent saying, oh, you can't, you can't, you can't. And we give up on those dreams. And really, when we step into our creativity, that's when the world rewards us and the universe goes, right, let's give you more of that. And the abundance goes up and everything seems to work.
I mean, this is like what you're really explaining is how we're at the moment we're moving into the golden age, which
Yes.
is something that I teach about as a spiritual teacher.
Yes.
And what you were saying about the raising of vibration through being. So
Yes.
so yes, if you can sing and paint and dance, that's one way of doing it. But
Mm-hmm.
being in the moment and not feeling under stress is the way that we raise our frequency, raise
Yes.
our vibration. And when we
Yeah.
have more time to settle into a flow rather than being
Yes.
stressed all the time about driving to work, paying the bills,
Yeah.
and all these stresses that life puts on us through the matrix system, when we are able to pick that apart and have more, like you said, more free time to be relaxing, doing
Yes.
the things that we enjoy, our frequency goes up. And
Right.
so the new world, which we're now stepping into, will actually be about having more spare time, because as
Yes.
we become more automated, as we go into the quantum world, a lot of things will not require so much manual input. And so
Yeah.
we are moving into a world now where people will have more remote working.
Yeah.
They'll have, less time stressing about the 9 to 5, the rat race.
Yep.
And, you know, so
sitting in traffic for hours.
yeah, whatever your passion is, bike riding, swimming, walking,
climbing mountains, yeah,
looking after pets, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And this business that you've described today, I mean, it just allows people,
Yes.
like you said, to step into more of what they enjoy doing,
Yes.
which overall raises your vibration and frequency. So everybody wins all round with this.
Yeah. And that's, I think, what I had the foresight to do 10 years ago was go, okay, I was a customer for 2 years. I wasn't quite ready to join the business because I was getting divorced. And I know sometimes it's not the right time, but this is why recommending as a customer is so good, because you still get paid and you don't have to join the business.
Yeah.
But what we find is when people do step into the business, you know, it's only £10 to join. It's not a big commitment. And we help somebody do all the explaining and the doing of the do at the beginning so that you're learning. It's like a driving lesson, no skills, no confidence, and you need an instructor.
Yeah.
But once you get to grips with that and you start to see an extra 250, 500, £1,000 coming in your bank account for doing maybe 3 or 4 hours work, and I'm not exaggerating, that allows you to just breathe a bit and go, yes, we can have those trainers. Yes, you can have horse riding lessons. Yes, let's give your kids experiences and memories to build on. Yes, let's go and travel. Yes, let's take you out of school and go. I mean, I've got a friend who's traveling the world at the moment. They're homeschooling their kids for 6 months. And I see that life that they've been given, and what an opportunity. But of course, most people will be going, oh, but what if it doesn't work? And there's that fear that comes in. And that, unfortunately, is the devil at work. He is trying to keep us small. And this is where we have to go, okay, what do I want in life? How do I want to live? What income do I need to do it? How am I going to make that happen? And here's an opportunity that allows you to do that without needing to buy stock, without needing to go and do parties in people's living rooms, which I've done for years, with nothing to sell, but give everybody hope and a simple system and the ability to say yes to life. And ironically, on my business card, that's what it says at the bottom. Strangers are friends you just haven't met yet. Say yes to life. That's what we do.
It's not really selling when you're just telling somebody how amazing it is that your electric bill income this month.
And your shopping's going to help pay some of your bills. I mean,
exactly. There's not really much to sell because you see the evidence on your statement every month.
Yeah, it's a concept. This is why I talk of it as a concept. The concept is saving money, one bill, one website, and cash back on your shopping, your bills. I mean, every time you're spending money, whether it's on Amazon or eBay or the internet, buying flights, buying hotels, people are traveling, buying pet food, anything you're buying, that's going to be paying some of your bills. So
incredible. And one final thing just before you go, Hannah, I mean, if you're running, we've been talking about people in their own homes.
Yes.
Is Utility Warehouse also open to businesses? Like, say you've got employees. Let's say you've got 10 employees.
Yep.
Could you set it up to run for your business expenses?
So we used to supply businesses, but because the way the market is right now, it was not cost efficient for UW to continue supplying business premises. However, if you imagine you've got a hairdresser's and the owner of that hairdresser's has got, say, 10 staff working for him, if he introduces UW to those 10 staff as a business partner, he's going to be earning some money. But because he's saving them some money, let's say it's £1,000 a year that he manages to save them on combining their utilities and showing them how to earn cash back and getting referral fees off their bills, he's almost giving them a pay rise without having to pay them because they're saving money. So therefore, they're going to have more money. So businesses can actually still help in that way. Now, you imagine as a business owner, the hairdresser then says to their clients, have you got a cashback card? Are you paying with a cashback card? He can then introduce it to his clients, and he could potentially become not a partner, but he could say, if you're going to pay us with a cashback card, we'll give you a 10% discount. That's breeding loyalty right there. So yes, whilst we don't supply businesses, business owners can still help their customers and their clients and their staff.
Well, it's an amazing opportunity. I think people will be
Thank
mad
you.
not to at least have a look
Have
into
a
it,
look.
to see.
Right.
That's all they need to do initially. Like you said, you don't have to buy any stock. You just come over to the link, sign in, and then Utility Warehouse will help you with everything you need to do. And then, let the cashback begin.
Yeah. I think also it's just nice when you see somebody, a customer, come into the business and then they join the business. The magic happens because people gain a lot of confidence doing this. This can be a life-changing personal development business that has a compensation plan attached to it. I mean, I'm very different now to how I was 10 years ago in my confidence levels, how I speak to people, and how I connect. And like we already said, make amazing friends, yourself included. So thank you for this opportunity to share the good stuff with people, because it is making a difference to people's lives.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming along today and explaining it all. And it's been lovely to see Tilly.
She's finally had a little snooze on my lap.
Yeah, I think she's made the interview very pleasurable, seeing her little face. So thank you very much, Hannah.
Thank you.
And, I hope everyone gets in touch at the link below and starts saving money very soon. Yeah. It's been lovely to see you. And now, thanks for talking. See you very soon. Bye.